5 most disturbing things caught on home security camera footage. Every day, something terrible happens to someone, and it's not always that it gets recorded. But when there is a camera present at the scene, it does make it a bit safe for the people. Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Just Scary, and today we'll be talking about 5 creepy videos which, if they weren't recorded, no one would have believed. Robbery or something more. This story takes us back to 2015. Alright, so a couple reported to the police that there was a break-in at their house, and although they couldn't find anything missing, they were really scared because the couple recently had a child and were worried about the baby's safety. The police officers advised the couple to take some home security precautions, such as installing security cameras around the house. Well, they didn't take that one lightly, as the very next day they got it done. Everything was pretty normal for some time. However, the police kept checking on them as they were not able to identify the culprit behind the break-in, so they would often take a well-being check. After around 5 months or so, something does happen, and it shakes everything up. So, in the afternoon, we can see in the security footage how 2 men creepily walk out of the bushes and go around the back gate that slides open into the lawn. The police later established that this was the point of their entrance. The 2 guys sneakily get inside the house, but the homeowners have installed a couple of cameras in there as well, as in the kitchen, the staircase, and the hall. As soon as the 2 men get inside, we can see them casing the kitchen pretty well. They find a set of kitchen knives, and they take them up to arm themselves. Whoa, this is getting kind of dark now. Alright, so then we can see them going upstairs, and then one of the men stops the other and tells him that there is something behind the locked door. The locked door was to the master bedroom, and in there was the couple's family friend who was babysitting their child for them. So now, even though these 2 creepy men knew there was someone behind that door, they didn't plan on going away. Instead, they tried to break into the room. It was only when the family friend locked herself and the baby inside the bathroom and yelled out that she had called the police that these strange men agreed to leave. So yeah, that was more than just being scary. It must have been terrifying for that poor lady. The Advisor. So this one is definitely quite weird. Not only is it creepy, but it involves an interaction which makes it even more horrible. So last year in April, something terrible happened with this family. It was late at night, and naturally everyone was asleep. The security camera inside the house picks up on a sudden movement. At first, it looked like some kind of animal, but after taking a closer look, we realize that it's a man who had his face covered with some sort of cloth. We can see this man going around the room, and we can see the couple sleeping in the bed as well. We can see how the man takes his face closer to the couple as if he's sniffing them, and then he is kind of playing with their hands. It just doesn't make any sense. The man then goes to the other room where the couple's child is sleeping with a night nurse. Passing by them, he finds the front door, and then he slowly gets out of the house. Well, hold on guys, because that is not where the story ends. Here comes the most horrifying part. The man doesn't leave. He comes back to the front door, but surprisingly by now, the woman had woken up, and she was near the door. She asked who was outside, and the man just said, "Oh, you should lock the door. It's not safe outside." And then he just flees. In the morning, the couple wakes up to find that most of their cash, as well as their rings, are nowhere to be found. They start going through their CCTV footage, and sure enough, they spot the man and connect the dots. It's not clear, but according to some reports, the man who did this was later apprehended by the police. If you think that's scary, maybe you're not aware about the horrors of the subscribe button yet. So hit it as hard as you can so that it never attacks you. And don't forget to smash the like button with all of your might. The Stalker. This video and the story behind it proves how broken the system of our laws actually is. So here's what happens. This young girl was just minding her own business going back to her home. Well, we already know the world is not a safe place, and thankfully she did too. Unlike most younger people these days, this girl was aware of her surroundings. Now we can call it her sixth sense or just that she was on alert. But fortunately, she noticed that a car was coming from behind her, abruptly slowed down a bit just near her. The girl was quite clever, so she stopped behind that pickup truck so that she could stay away from the driver's view. She stayed there for quite a while until the car went straight ahead. Now, this is not the end of it. The car, after going ahead, makes a U-turn and comes back to the same spot. However, the girl knew better, and she stood her ground. She didn't panic or try to run away. She just made sure she stayed away from the driver's view, and for that, she kept changing her position behind the truck, as we can see clearly in this clip. Soon after this cat-and-mouse chase, the driver decides to get away from the scene because the girl is making it hard for him to do whatever horrifying thing he had intended. Later on, police were involved in this matter and they got the plates of the car from this video footage. They did call him for questioning, but unfortunately they could not book him for anything because he wasn't actually breaking any laws. What a world we live in. Is it the camera? How would you feel when you find out that the security you've installed in your home to protect you from outsiders and strangers is already being controlled by some stranger? Well, don't worry, because the story we're discussing right now is going to be an excellent example as well as a lesson, so be cautious out there. The video starts and we can see this man chilling on his couch watching TV. And then suddenly we hear a song, and so does he. He stays because he thinks he misheard, but then, just for the sake of it, he turns the TV off and asks his wife if she changed the radio channel or something. The wife completely denies, saying she doesn't know what he's talking about. And right after that, the song plays again. This time, both of them heard it, and the man said this couldn't be true. "It's you and you're pranking me, aren't you?" The wife stays on her word and says that it's not her. Her phone is in her purse. The man seems really anxious after hearing that, and he tells his wife that this is really odd. The song says somebody's watching you, and then it hits him. He suddenly starts noticing the camera. He goes ahead to have a closer look when his wife makes a snarky comment saying that he's out of his mind if he thinks that the sound is coming from the camera. Well, nope. She was the crazy one because the sound really was coming out of the camera. After further inspection, it was concluded that someone had hacked the camera feed and accessed the audio feature. Fortunately, the couple got to know about it before something bad happened. But invading someone's privacy like this is definitely very creepy. The Stranger. Another story from last year, and this one again tells us how we should always stay cautious and keep our doors locked because we really have no idea who might be out there to get us. So, Allie, who's a mother of 2 kids, a 13-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy, was coming back from a store after shopping for some groceries. We can see in the camera footage how all 3 of them were very carefree and had no idea they were in the crosshairs of someone. So they get inside their home and then they lock the doors as any normal person should. All of a sudden, we see this man coming up in the driveway not even a minute later. The first thing he does when he gets on the doorstep is not to ring the bell. Instead, he tries to unlock the door. Thankfully, the door was locked, and thus he couldn't get inside. After that, he started knocking on the door, but no one came to open it. He was there for almost 10 minutes, and yet no one came to open, so he finally got out of there. But he was still outside their driveway, taking a walk while using his phone. He did, however, go away after a while. Now, it could have very easily turned into a crime scene if these people were not careful to lock the door behind them. The police came later on to check on them and they conducted an area-wide search, but they still couldn't get their hands on this man. And that brings us to the ending of today's video. So yeah, make sure you guys stay safe and don't forget to hit the like button as well as the subscribe button before you leave the video. To watch our other videos, just get on the channel and do some exploring.